Hi, Angie. How are you? Welcome to Tuesday Talks. Mhm. Hi, Sherry. Oh no, Angie, I will keep you in prayer. I will keep you in prayer for sure. Sherry, how are you feeling today? You're doing good? Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, depression is not a joke, it's real. Hi, Desiree. How are you? Yes, it's been heavy on my mind. Um, it's been heavy on my mind, and I got to talk about it. I got to make sure I'm not the crazy person here, and get some other perspectives on things. So yeah, yes, I was good news to hear. Very good news to hear today. Y'all, I really need to get my hair redone, but I cannot find a beautician. Oh goodness. So, yes, narcissistic people are very good at that. Yes. Um, hey, Christy. I think y'all can hear me typing. My thing picks up every noise imaginable. You're doing good. Awesome. Listening while driving. Thank you. I'm so glad you tune in with us sometimes, even if you're in the car. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it so much. Um, yes. I told my brother yesterday. I said, I'm starting to think most men are narcissistic or at least have the tendencies. He looked at me like, really? Yes, really. Oh, goodness. All right. Before we get started in this deep conversation, we're going to talk about our snack of the week. So, I've shown this snack before, but this is a version I haven't seen. So, remember I did the week where I had several snacks, and I flashed back to all of the old school snacks that we used to eat. Um, and I showed them Mamba. Well, I found these Mambas in all places, the Dollar Tree yesterday. Mamba Tropics. So this is like a new flavor assortment. New flavor assortment. So we have apple kiwi, peach passion fruit, mango orange, and pineapple coconut, or as some people know it to be, pina colada. So yes, I am excited to try these. So check your local Dollar Tree. This is where I found them. Mamba Tropics. I also picked up a box of sugar babies, and when I tell y'all, I ate way too many of those last night. They're addictive, those things. I just kept eating and eating and eating and eating some more and eating some more. And I was just like, I can't stop. I can't stop eating them. People are scary in general. Man, you telling me. Yeah, so yeah, I want to just talk about manipulation in general. I don't really want to talk about any specific situations unless someone's willing to share any specific situations. But yeah, so I have come across several master manipulators in my lifetime. My godson can be a little master manipulator at times. Like he learned early. So even my nephew did a little manipulation on me years ago when I took him to the circus. Yeah, kids. I don't know if kids are just a little more crafty with it than we are. I'm not sure, but yeah. So it's just it's something that I've been witnessing a lot of lately, and it's just something that's really been on my mind. Let's see. So let's go ahead and get into this discussion. I like everything there right now. Yes, Christy, yes. Hey, Jacqueline. My son from my husband's first marriage. Wow. Wow. Sad. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Christy. You're right. We're gonna talk about that one. So let's just start here. Have you ever been manipulated by a family member or friend? A family member or friend. Hey, Teresa. Gotcha, Jacqueline. Understandable, ma'am. Hey, Indy. Taco Tuesday. I would, but I just had tacos yesterday. But man, I've been dying to get a Dairy Queen Blizzard. Yeah, I would say a huge percentage of people could say that they have been manipulated by a family member or friend. Yeah, definitely. I think we could all say that. I think we could all say that. I I had what I thought was a friend who got me with the whole single mom thing, struggling single mom thing, but pretty much was just a master manipulator. Um, just getting people to give when the need wasn't really there. And I caught on to it eventually, um, and had to distance myself. Because if I'm helping you out of the kindness of my heart, not for you to manipulate me and keep taking and taking and taking from me when there's really not a need there. Um, so I'm very reluctant because I've been master manipulated by more than one struggling single mother. So I'm very leery of the single mother struggle now. And it's sad to say, but I am. I'm very, yeah, definitely. Like this girl had a sugar daddy and everything that was giving her all kinds of stuff. And I was just like, so why? I mean, and it was not just me. There were several people at church helping and giving and giving and giving. And I was just like, no, mm-mm, not doing it anymore. So I had to cut that. Like, it was to the point where the children knew to say, hey, mom, call so and so we can get such and such. Like when your children know that you can call this man because you use him and they're telling you to call him because it's something that they want at the moment and they know that this man is going to give it to you, that's sad. Your children shouldn't know that. All right, Nutty, thank you. So yeah. You heard me, a sugar daddy. Sugar daddy. Hmm. Had a boyfriend too, I'm not sure, but I think the boyfriend might have known about sugar daddy, but I'm not quite sure about that. They feed on their drama to get people to give them things. Yes. Yes. And it's like you're living this fabulous life while I'm working hard, helping you, and you're the one living the life. What? Wait a minute, something's wrong with this equation here. You have to ask yourself if people are a giver or a taker. Yes, you do. You do. Yeah. She's seeing up her children to become abusive. And it's sad because, I mean, if you're going to be dirty like that, at least try to keep your children out of the know. But yeah, you are so right, Indy. They thrive off the high of getting over on people. And this is what is so crazy. That to be a master manipulator takes a lot of work, a lot of energy. Take that energy and put it into something positive and productive. If you've got to manipulate someone for something, then that something is not meant for you. That's how I see it. I've always said if I have to screw somebody over and get over on somebody or be crooked or something to get something, that something is not meant for me. Because what's meant for me, God is going to see that I get it in the right way. I don't have to go out and manipulate somebody to get something. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy. And then you could have people that they don't necessarily start off that way. It could take years for you to see that side of a person. And that person just starts taking and taking and taking and taking, and they're never giving. You're giving, and there's no reciprocity there. And I'm real big on reciprocity. Like, you don't have to give me exactly what I give you, but for a friendship or relationship to be worth something to me, it has to be something in it for me. You can't be the only one winning. You can't be the only one winning, because I will distance myself from people quickly. Always want things for free because they think they deserve it, but not. Yes. And you just hit a key word there, work. This person, I never, even to this day, I never really see this person talk about going to work, but they're living the life. Like, I'm just like, how in the heck are you out there going here, there, traveling everywhere, having a good old time? And I'm over here busting my butt, stressed out at work, and I can barely get a vacation anywhere. Like, it's really insane to me. It's really insane. No, it ain't gonna last, Teresa. Their little games will eventually come to an end at some point. At some point. Yep. But it's sad. And especially when it's someone that you trust, like family or friend. Um, and when you're just trying to be kind to people and respectful to people out of the kindness of your heart. Sharon, you made it. Yay. Welcome, Sharon. Glad to have you. They will just move on to the next person. Yes. Yes, they will. Like, it was to the point where like people were paying for everything for this girl's children, like all the activities that they were in church, even down to buying the pantyhose they needed for their little uniforms for the church clubs. And I'm like, you can buy some pantyhose for your children. Like, this is a little ridiculous. This is just a little ridiculous. And it's like I said, it's a lot of effort to keep up those scams because in essence, you're scamming people a lot of times when you're manipulating them. Scam doesn't mean that you're just taking money. You can just be manipulating people mentally. You can be manipulating people emotionally. That's still manipulation. And I've seen that recently, mental and emotional manipulation. And me and my brother were talking about it today. It's disgusting. My brother said it makes him angry to think that adults would do someone like that, but they do. They do. It is sad. So of course it doesn't make us feel good. I'm one of those people, I'm not going to even really be hurt. I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be real angry with you for taking advantage of my kindness. And I will dismiss you and I might still be cordial when I see you or whatever, but you can best believe the relationship is never going to be the same. My husband and I deal with that. Yeah, we were saying, Sharon, that high percentage of us have probably all dealt with being manipulated at some point. But it makes me angry. That's kind of my go-to emotion these days anyways. I feel like the older I get, the more that's the go-to emotion. Like, it's like I don't even give myself time to feel anything else because I'm just mad, So, yeah. Yeah. They'll lose their best friend or, yeah, made you hurt. Yeah. Dismissed like a hot potato. Whoop. Whoop. Yes. It's sad. It's really sad. It makes me really frustrated and angry. I agree, Angie. I agree. Especially when you're just trying to be, like I said, do things out of like the kindness of your heart. It's infuriating. And then another reason why I get angry, because I could have been helping somebody that was actually in need instead of wasting time, effort, and money on someone who was just being manipulative. You know what I mean? You're taking away from people that actually have a need. And it is exhausting. It really is. So Did the said manipulator deflect and point blame, or did they even own up to the manipulation? The average one is going to deflect, deny, and defend. So I actually confronted this person one time after church. I was actually talking to somebody about it earlier. I confronted them after church one time. I took a neutral party over to be a witness to the conversation. And of course, she did exactly what I thought she was going to do. And I told her, I said, you're doing exactly what I thought she would do. Being defensive, deflecting, okay, and denying. So I'm not surprised in your behavior right now. But here's the thing about me. I have this way of finding out things. God has given me a great sense of discernment. And sometimes I just can feel things in my spirit and I know that they're happening. Or I've had very vivid dreams of things that people are saying about me or trying to do to me behind my back. And I have been right, like the dreams have been real. And so I tend to trip people out because they will be sitting there wondering, how do I know all of this? Yeah, I know. I'm calling your shots before you even do them once I get to realize who you are and what you are, you know. And so during the conversation, she's sitting there deflecting, denying, and I'm just calling out stuff that she has said, calling out stuff she has done, stuff she had no clue that I knew about. And some of it, I didn't really have confirmation. It was something that I felt in my spirit, you know? And the look on her face said it all. So at one point, she just had to own it. She had to own it, you know? But most of them are going to do that. They're going to deny, deflect, and be defensive. Nope, never. It was all yeah. The sister I still don't talk because oh, that's really sad when someone manipulates someone else against you. That's even worse. That's even worse. I had that happen with my ex-boyfriend's mom. She had met someone that was at the time an ex-friend of mine that I wasn't really speaking to this girl anymore. And somehow they realized they both knew me. And she started telling boyfriend's mom all this stuff about me. He and I were still together at the time. And so his mom came back with the information to her sisters and her mom, grandma. Me and his grandma were really close, so that didn't change anything. But a lot of his aunts started acting funny with me. His mom started acting funny with me. And then when he found out what was going on, he was ticked at them for acting crazy with me. So they were mad because he didn't take their side. I mean, it was just a hot mess. And I'm saying to myself, the girl had to have told you that we don't talk to each other anymore. Why would you even listen? And this is what bothers me about something like that. If I've already shown myself to you, because I can never be nothing but real. So if I've already shown myself to you and you decide to believe what somebody else has said about me, you either never knew me, you never cared to know me, or you're just as messy as that person is. That's how I see it. And that's the worst, when someone tries to manipulate someone else against you. It's just ridiculous. Most people don't even recognize they are a manipulator, but if they do, I really don't think they care. They don't. Some of them, I think it is part of a personality disorder for some people. Sociopathic people do not care. They have no kind of remorse about their actions. Like, they don't have friends, they have victims. And if you're a friend, you will soon become a victim at some point. Or if you're a friend, you're helping them do some kind of dirt with somebody else. So yeah, if you're a sociopath, you don't care. I did a lot of studying on those personality disorders after I read about Ted Bundy. And Sociopaths don't care. I know several sociopaths. I know them. I know them well. Um, all right. They lie while looking. Yes, 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 yes. Look you right in your eyes. And that is something that, as we used to say back in the day, chaps my hide. Don't ever take me for a fool. And if you have fooled me and I've realized you're not going to get too many chances to do that again. But the worst, I always tell people, don't ever think I'm stupid, because that's when I'm going to turn around and show you just how smart I am. And that should scare you. That should scare you. So I'm always going to be real. And if you want to believe what someone else has said about me, that's on you. I'm never going to show you anybody but me, because I don't know how to be anybody but me, you know? Yeah, no feelings whatsoever. It is. It is. You know, one of my former pastors was a well, two of them. I take that back. Two of my former pastors were sociopaths. One of them, I think, was a borderline psychopath. And this is a man that was leading, these were men who were leading the flock. Okay? So imagine that. The one, like I said, was borderline psychopath, and then the other was sociopathic and super narcissistic. Like, yeah, and they were leading God's children. Angie says, I hate when people believe what others say about other people without checking with the person who is being talked. Exactly. I have people tell me all kinds of stuff about folks, but I just let them show themselves. You know, thanks for the heads up, but I'm going to let them show themselves. I had that happen last year. Like, I was warned about this one student, and but that student didn't give me any issues. She was respectful to me. I don't know why y'all had problems with her, but I didn't. Maybe because I treated her like a person and not like a little outcast like some people treated her. So I don't know. Exactly. Do not let them have power too. That is because then they feel untouchable and invincible. And that's how Satan felt. That's why he fell from grace and was kicked out of heaven, because he got too high on his horse. Yes. Folks who hide and go lie to others about me. I've experienced that, and I pretty much cut off the receivers who couldn't ask me in person about the issues they heard and failed to research. Yes, ma'am. You can go believe what I always say, believe what you want to believe. And you could say what you want to say unless it is defaming my character. And then that's when we're going to have a problem. Because the sociopathic, narcissistic pastor, I had to tell him that if he kept saying stuff about me, that he was going to get a lawsuit for defamation. I told him, keep my name and my family's name out of his mouth. I will respect you so far as a man of cloth, but if you ain't doing, like the Bible says, you shall know them by your fruits, and your fruits were showing me that you are not what God is wanting you to be right now. So you, just like I'm supposed to respect you, you've got to respect me as well. And your title doesn't make you any better than me. You're still a man. Like, you're still a man. Many pastors, unfortunately. Yeah, it's sad. And then in addition to that, it turns people away from Christianity. And that's a problem. And you're going to be held accountable for each of those people that you turned away because God gave you a job to do and you didn't do it. Now, do I feel like every man of cloth has been called by God? I do not. I feel that some call themselves and some have been called by the devil. But that's just my opinion on that. Yes, they will bully. They will bully. That's right. It's not just pastors. People just thrive on the clout that leadership brings. And it's in leadership, period. It could be a manager, it could be, superintendent, your boss, a lot of people. And I hate to say this, and I might get a bad, you know, reaction from people when I say this. But from my experience, I have seen, since we're talking about people in leadership, that women, I hate to say it, but women cannot handle positions of authority. They cannot. It goes straight to their head. They feel that they have to be like these wicked witches to be in charge, to show that they are just as much as a man. You don't have to be like that. You can still lead and be a lady. You can still lead and be a lady. You don't have to be a witch. Like, you could still lead and lead well without an ego problem, without getting too high on your horse, without letting your position go to your head. Yes. I used to say I don't think yeah, I've experienced it a lot, unfortunately, and I know every woman's not like that, but I just feel like some women can't handle positions of authority. I'm sorry. I do. I'm sorry. But not all women. Some women are great leaders. We've seen that throughout history. We've had some fabulous women in history lead and lead well. Maybe it's just these new age women. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Have you tried to help someone else who you feel is being manipulated? Because unfortunately, some people will realize that they're being manipulated, some will not. And it's not something that you just want to come out and say, hey, you're being manipulated. Everybody's not going to take that very well to just come out and just bluntly tell them something like that. So it's hard to help someone. You try to say certain things, you try to point out certain facts regarding the situation to try and bring light to them, but it just may not always click. You are so right, Indonesia. You are. Some of the same things, behaviors men are praised for and allowed to demonstrate, women are vilified for. And I don't like the double standard at all. I do not like it. Everyone should, but I'm just a firm believer that people should just do right. And I have to come to reality a lot of the times that this ain't the world we live in. Everybody ain't going to do right. They're just not. Yes, and it doesn't work if they can't see it. That's right. Like I have, sometimes it literally pains me and stresses me when people don't see, like, oh, when they don't see it for themselves. And you can, just what Christy just said here, you can only try so much to open someone's eyes. They sometimes have to get hurt to recognize it. Yep. That's sad. And I think we've all, like I said, we've all been there. We've all given someone more chances than they deserved. I think we've all been there. But at some point, I'm a firm believer that what you allow will continue. I know some people are not people to stand up for themselves or they feel like they don't want confrontation. And I want to make it very clear. Confrontation and standing up for yourself are two different things. Standing up for yourself does not have to be a confrontation. It does not. But you should never be afraid to make people respect you and know your worth. Like, you should never be afraid to do that. Ever. Ever. Yeah, do it right and it will be right. Yes. It is awful, Angie, to watch, and it's very painful. Like, it's not even you that's being manipulated, but it pains you still as if it were you. And I'm one of those people, like, because I think everything people should just do right. I'm a fixer. I try to fix everything and make things right. And I know in reality that's not possible. But my goodness, it's hard. It's really hard. Indy Nija says, I told an older lady who was being manipulated and lied to about me that she was being manipulated. She didn't take it well, and I told her time would show her. When she saw it, she was shocked. Yeah. Yeah. I even had one of my own relatives emotionally and mentally manipulate my parents into thinking horrible things about me, to the point where my parents didn't talk to me for a while. This was some years ago. And it put a little rift in my relationship with my parents for a while, because my family member manipulated my mother with some lies about me. And I don't even know why my mother believed the lies. I don't know. But she believes pretty much everything that this family member says. So there you go. Yes, Sharon, you teach people how to treat you. And I feel like at times we get mad at how people do us, but we still need to turn the mirror on ourselves sometimes and point the finger at ourselves and be like, well, what did I allow them to do? What did I allow? Because what you allow will continue. I mean, that is just a common thread throughout life, period, in all kinds of situations. I can apply that to the classroom. What do we allow at the school will continue. If we allow the kids to do nothing and still pass them, that's what will continue. You know? And I agree. And there are respectful ways to stand up for yourself. And I've been one of those people. I will stand all by myself. I will stand all by myself if I'm standing for what's right. I've had to do it several times. You know, there's always somebody off to the side that will sit and agree with you that things are wrong and this is not right, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes time to stand, they will leave you to stand by yourself. And I've had to do it several times. Now, you can allow people to disrespect you. I'm not going to do that. Disrespect is a big deal for me. Like, that's a trigger. It is a trigger for me. Like, woo, buddy, what did you say? Excuse me? Like, what? It's a trigger. Show respect, because I'm showing respect to you. And believe me, I could disrespect people. Anybody can disrespect somebody. But I don't do that. I don't go out doing that to people. And a lot of times I even hold back telling people the truth about themselves, because it's going to come off harsh and it's going to come off as disrespectful, but it's not disrespect. It's just the truth. So I will hold back a lot of things a lot of the time. I don't like holding back because it just builds up inside of me and then I might explode. So I don't like doing that. I feel I'm one of those people. I like to get it out so that there's not a buildup. That's just me. I don't think respectability should come in when the issue is manipulated, because manipulation is covert aggression. You know what? You got a great point there. You've got a great point there, Indonesia. So if you have to, as they used to say, get crunk to get somebody to understand that they're not going to manipulate you, then you might just have to do that. You might just have to be super firm with somebody to get them to understand that this ends here. We're not going to play this game. You're not going to do me this way. Yes, Sharon, the truth will always come out. Yes, it will. I don't know, Angie. I'm still baffled by it after all these years. It was like, that was one time where I was both hurt and super angry. I was very angry at the family member that was telling the lies. And I was super hurt that my parents believed the lies. I'll never forget, I came to their house one day and my mom started talking to me about it. And I always had like a key to their house. And my mom was so angry with me behind these lies that she was like, give me the key to my house. So I had to give her her key to her house. And we didn't speak for weeks. Like, she and my dad, I didn't speak to them for weeks. And then it took like one of my uncles and one of my other cousins to kind of get them to understand that the other family member was lying. The lies that they told were literally truths about themselves. So yeah, it was it was hard to deal with. And to this day, my mom, because we kind of talked about this about a month or so ago, she's kind of blocked out a lot of what happened in that situation. Because when we were talking about it, I don't think she even remembers how they treated me, And I didn't want to bring it up and tell her and throw it in her face. So I just sat back and was just saying to myself, like, wow, like, I don't think she really remembers all of this. Yes. Andy says, when you're the recipient of covert aggression, the hurt can be big enough to change your normal behavior, especially when your normal behavior allowed them. Yes, I agree. Angie says, I think master manipulators need lots and lots of therapy if they ever become aware of what they are doing. There's something mentally not right with it. Yes. And with some of them, if it's a personality disorder, you really can't treat some personality disorders. Like, you really can't. And I've read about that. Like, some of them, the person can seek attention, they can be on it, but some of them, that's just embedded in them. And I just say, give them to God, and because He's capable of anything, He's capable. God is able. Yeah, disrespect is a trigger for you as well. Yeah. And he says, my mom believes everything this person says, and I've had to ask her why that person's words meant more than mine. Yes. I feel like even my mom is sometimes manipulated by a family member, just because the family member comes and brings all this negative talk and negative energy a lot of the times. And I'm like, Mama, why you want to take all that in? Like, every day? Like, why do you, like, I don't know. Even though it is hurtful and sad, you do have to withdraw when the manipulator wants to. Yes, because if you don't, they'll keep taking. A taker is gonna keep taking. What did Taylor Swift say? Faker's gonna fake, 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 fake. Taker's gonna take. Yeah, they're gonna keep taking from you as long as you allow. And this is what I have been seeing lately. People preying on people's insecurities, people preying on someone's issues with someone else, just to get them to do what they want them to do. And it's been making me very angry and very just disgusted. And it's not even me that's being done that way, but it's, yeah. It's just sad all around that people are not satisfied in themselves and they have to reach out and hurt someone else. You're so right. You are so right. Ooh. They need therapy. Did my brothers tell them they were wrong? Um, my older brother wasn't around then. I'm trying to think, was my younger brother around then? My younger brother might have still been in Virginia. No, I think he was around, but was he around? Or was he in Virginia then? I can't remember. But one of my uncles, he's like, everybody thinks he's my cousin because he's only a few years older than me. He really went to bat for me, like, no, that is not the truth. Yeah, some disorders you really cannot treat. And when I read like some of those personality disorders can't be treated, it's like crazy to me. Hey, Karen. I wish they would get therapy, but you can't fix a problem you don't admit to. How did Jada Pinkett say it in that movie? You can't save a brother don't want to be saved. So that book, why does he do that? Let me write that down. Why does he do that? It's a book. It's a great book on abuse, abusive behavior, codependency, and overt and covert aggression. Oh, okay. And I feel that some people that constantly are manipulated have suffered from some kind of abusive trauma, as you say, codependency, and that causes them to sometimes allow a lot more things to go on than others would allow. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. So we were just talking about, have you tried to help someone? Did they realize they were being, like we said, if someone, you can only help people so much, right? You can only help them so much. How do you assist someone without it becoming a burden for you? So I had to really do some reflecting some days ago. And I just said, Lord, you've got to help me. You've got to help me to shut up. Maybe don't let them even bring up the topic in front of me because it's hard for me not to say anything. Help me to shut up and just to keep them in prayer because it's wearing me down. And I can't be stressed about, I got my own stresses. I can't be taking on somebody else's stress. I can't, especially if they're not trying to seek a way to change the situation for themselves. I can't do it. I can't. It's too much. It is way too much. It has been weighing me down greatly. So I've said I need to learn to pray and turn them over to God and let him handle it because I just can't. Yes, that is very true. For a lot of us, our immediate family, our first abusers, you're so right about that. That sets people up to be abused in the future if they have the right personality that primes folks for abuse. Yeah. And you know what I was thinking too, and I kind of was talking about my brother to this. Sometimes if the manipulator makes the person feel important and special, then it makes it that much easier for them to manipulate them. Makes it that much easier. Let's see. Do you feel you have ever been manipulated by the media or government? Yes, all day, every day, even back when I didn't realize I was, and now I know. Yeah. Yes, definitely. But we won't go in. That's a whole nother live. We won't go into a lot of detail on that one. That's a whole nother live. Oh, goodness. And sometimes it may take a while before you even run. Yes, it may take a while. That is so true. Christy said all day long. I think I might have told you guys about this, but one of the things that really made me start looking at the media sideways was finding out that during the Iraqi war, there was this reporter who claimed to be over there in the midst of all of the turmoil, and to find out that he was never there. He was in a studio the whole time. He lived and breathed in that studio for weeks, maybe months. They literally brought him food in and everything. He put up green, what do they call them? The green screens and all that stuff. It was all a lie. It was all a lie. There was one instance where he swore he was over there when one of the little landmines or whatever went off. But mind you, the camera is not shaking. He's ducking and dodging. The camera's not shaking. If that's really happened, the cameraman would not have been able to hold that camera steady on you. And then they show the footage of him just being there in the, I don't know who leaked the footage, but they showed him in the studio. He was never over there. And it ticked me off because I'm like, there are literal people, our military people, over there losing their lives for real. And you're perpetrating in a studio like you're over there. And I've been looking at the media sideways ever since. And then I had to stop and think, so we're just supposed to believe everything they tell us? Because they're the media. So we're just supposed to believe whatever they say. They are owned by the elite. So they are going to report what the elite wants them to report. A lot of what the media does is emotional and mental manipulation. A lot of it. A lot of it. Yeah, that's a Zoom. And that's a set. Yeah. The media is biased and has an agenda. Yes, ma'am. You have to do your own research. Yep. I have found out that so much, and when I mean big, big, big news stories that you would all know and remember, to find out that they were not what they were perpetrated to be is disgusting to me. It's disgusting to me. I sent my coworkers something last week. Maybe I'll put it in the group chat or whatever. It's something I found out about some years ago, but it just happened to pop up on. No, my brother had shared it with me again on Facebook, and so I shared it with a couple of my coworkers, and I was just like, they were like, "What?" One didn't have any comment actually. The other one's like, "So you're saying this didn't happen?" I'll send it to y'all. And I actually looked up one of the people involved. I'll send it to y'all. Yeah. And I always felt like, just like Angie said here, that it's depressing. I stopped watching regularly because of that. I felt like all the news stories were just a depressing story. But then when I start really seeing how some of it is just a mess, manipulation to the nth degree, I was like, oh no. Mm-hmm. Yep. So much, y'all. I thank you, God, for opening my eyes to a lot of things. And here's the thing. The manipulation is a part of a plan. The more they can manipulate you now, the better they can manipulate you in the end when the devil's going to bring on some of his grand deceptions. And so you've already bought into so much other stuff. They're just priming you and getting you ready for the grand deceptions. And they're coming. They're coming. The Bible tells you about it. They're coming. So it's yeah, some of it's already happening now, but it's some grand things to come, unfortunately. So what do you do to ensure that no one takes advantage and manipulates you? Like we've already said, we have to cut ourselves off from some people, totally distance ourselves from some folks. You don't want to have to do that, but sometimes that is absolutely necessary. Distancing yourself from someone, from a situation, from a certain place. I'm quick. I learned years ago, my mental health is more important than a lot of other things. I will distance myself from a place, a person, or thing if I need to. Deuces, gotta go. And I can't even say nice knowing you because you cause me stress, heartache, and pain. But deuces, and if it's family, love them from a distance. You can love people from a distance. We need to get out of that whole blood is thicker than water thing and feeling that we have to be tolerable because someone is family. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can distance yourself from family and you can love them from a distance and you can put them in God's hands. That's what you can do. If it's somebody that you've been very close to for a long time and you're starting to realize, you know what, maybe we need some distance, then you do it for you. You do it for you. I avoid those people. I know manipulators. Oh yeah, bye. I ain't got time for it. I remember one of the churches we were at, I could tell right away this woman was just as fake can be. I read her real quick. And she was worse than I thought she was initially. And I'm glad I never trusted her. Ever. Nope. We're going to give them the deuces. Deuces. Because we don't need that or desire to have that in our lives. Now, I hate to say it, but some people, that's all they know is to be manipulated. And they take it as a strange form of love or acceptance or something sometimes. Or they take it as a form of obligation. I'm obligated to do whatever as this person is manipulating me. You're not obligated if it's not in your best interest and for your best mental and emotional health. I mean, you're not obligated. Angie says, I think we just need to be aware of people and our intuition about that. Yes, I agree. All right, I got one last question for you guys. Do you feel that some people are more prone to being manipulated? Do you feel that some people are more prone to being manipulated? Yes. Make use of your intuition. Yes. I do think some are. And I go back to kind of what Indy and I just said earlier. I think people that have been exposed to abuse and codependency and people pleasers, I think they are prone. I believe they are prone. Yes, I feel so for reasons. Yes, if you're a people pleaser, you can easily be manipulated because you just want to please everybody. Or if you're a person that feels obligated to family, you can easily be manipulated by your family because you feel obligated to them, you know? Yes, people pleasers. If you're abused or manipulated as a child, you're more likely to be manipulated as an adult. Yes. Yes. I totally agree. And right now, like my heart and my spirit is very burdened with a lot of manipulation that I'm seeing, and some of it to people close to me, some of it just in general with the world and everything. And it's burdening my spirit. And I'm so asking God to help me to just say a prayer and hand it over to Him. Yeah. Angie says, I used to be a huge people pleaser and not so much anymore. I'm a giver, but I don't let people take advantage of me. Exactly. We've talked about this before, learning how to say no. Learning how to say no. And I don't know if I was just came into this world as fighter. I told my mom, I came in the world fighting, and I've been fighting forever because I will fight for what's right. I will fight for respect. That's just something I do. But I said, I guess because I came into the world fighting for my life, because I came and was born early. I don't know. But yeah. Let's see. Do it for me. Just do this because of me. Phrases I've heard that make me so angry. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We cannot allow people to manipulate us, because again, what you allow will continue. And and here's another thing, if someone has been very disrespectful towards you and all of a sudden they act like they want to just hand you something on a silver platter, you might want to question their motives, question their intentions, because they're just trying to manipulate you to get what they want out of you. So I would just say, to end this conversation, may God provide us all with the most discernment possible. May we continue to still be loving and giving in spite of the fact that some people will try to take advantage. And let us continue to pray for the manipulators and to continue to pray for the manipulated. That's all that we can do. And learn to care and not really take on that burden, whether it's happening to us or if it's happening to someone else, that we can take that burden and hand it over to God and let him deal with it. So I thank y'all for this conversation this evening. I had to have it. I needed to talk about this, and I needed to get it off my chest. I'm going to ignore little bro right now. But anyways, thank you, ladies, for joining in. Thank you, Desiree, for listening while you're driving. Sharon, I'm happy that you were able to catch us live this evening. I'm happy about your report again, Sherry. Still keeping you in prayer. Angie, I'll be keeping you in prayer as well. Thank you, ladies. You guys have a great night, and I will see you guys. Yes, yes, indeed. But the Bible says we should pray for those who despitefully use us. Yes, hallelujah. Have mercy on them, Jesus. Thank you for that. Yes, ma'am. Mariah has a song that's called I Wish You Well. Man. And she be throwing some scripture out all up in the song. I wish you well. Go take a listen to that one. That's a good one. All right. See you guys. Y'all have a good evening. Bye-bye.